The Soybean School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by Pride Seeds, Preaxer Xemium Fungicide, and Cruiser Max Vibrance Beans.
Hi, I'm Bernard Tobin. Welcome to the Soybean School. Today I'm down in Chatham, Ontario, joined by Dale Cowan from AGRIS Co-operative. Sir, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
We are looking at some wheat here that
Yes.
we're going to hopefully get harvested in the next little while. And the conversation typically now turns to double crop soybeans and whether we should, we could, and all those type of things. When you look at this year, I mean, we've got $20 soybeans. When you look environmentally, how is it setting up? What's the opportunity this year for double crop?
Well, it's always an opportunity. The question is always understand your risk, right? So there's just nothing about double crop soybeans that's a guarantee of getting anything, right? So last 2 or 3 years around here has been very good. We've had some 30 to 70 bushel yield. Well, last year there was some 70 bushel beans planted on July 20th. So anything's possible, but those more are the exceptions than the norm. So just understand what the risks are. And the first thing you got to do is get the wheat crop harvested as quickly as you can. And if that might mean harvesting at 20% moisture just to get it out of the way. The second thing would be is your residue management. If you're going to sell the straw, make sure that custom baler is right in behind the combine and get it out of the way. If not, make sure the straws and chaff are spread quite well so you've got a nice uniform spread behind the combine.
What about planting date and moisture now? I mean, like, where's that window and what do you want from a moisture perspective to be planting into?
Well, we like to plant into moisture in the top 2 inches if we can do it, and might go a little bit deeper if there's moisture there, but certainly moisture is going to be one of the determinants whether you're going to even attempt a double crop soybeans. So that's your first criteria as you get enough rain to actually wet the 2-inch root zone. And as far as timing, you know, once we get past July 15th, things start to get a little iffy about whether you're going to have enough growing season at the end to finish the crop.
What about seeding depth now and that population? How much should or could we push it?
Well, I mean, we've had guys go as deep as 3 inches. I think this time of year, that's a little risky. That just takes longer to get out of the ground. So if we can, let's try and not get too crazy in depth and try for 2 inches into moisture. And anytime I look at research, whether it's from North Carolina, Ohio, or even Ontario with Dr. David Hooker, is seeding rate, as seeding rate increases, yield increase. So you start talking about 2 units the acre, that 280,000, dare I say even go 300,000 seeds. You just need way more plants than what you do when you plant normally in the spring. And that's just because you just need to have enough plants to produce enough pods, and you want to go narrow rows. You want to get that canopy closed and intercepting sunlight. When sunlight's hitting bare ground, it's not making soybeans. So you want to probably narrow up to that 7.5-inch drill spacing and get that canopy covered as quickly, get the ground covered as quickly as you can.
Okay, Dale, a couple of final questions here. What about weed control? How important is it to keep it clean?
Well, we're going to be into the summer. If we get some moisture, we're going to have lots of weed growth. So we just want to make sure that you're growing a traded hybrid that you can clean it up with some of the commercial herbicides that are going to do a good job on some of the resistant weeds. So just pay attention to the label criteria if you're using some of the Extend products. Just watch the heat and temperature when you're spraying and sensitive crops. So and temperature inversion.
Exactly.
So there's some challenges there with the weed control.
What about variety? What about those maturity groups? Should we back it down here? What's that?
Well, so the maturity groups, you would think that you should grow a shorter maturing bean, and that's somewhat true, although I've seen research where there isn't a strong correlation between a group 2 and a group 3, for example. But if you're a typical 2.3 or 2.5 grower, try and drop down 0.2 to 0.5, just to give yourself a better opportunity of finishing at the end of the season. So.
Final question for you, and that is, hey, if all things go well, and that's what we like to see in agriculture, what's the potential here? I mean, what have you seen, and what, based on how things are shaping up, what could we get?
Do you ever gamble?
I do.
I don't want to say what it is. I know what happened last year. It was an extraordinary year. It was an exception, not the rule. A lot of 60 bushel beans. It was just unconscious what was going on out there. It was good for the farmer. I've also been around years when it's been 12 bushels. So just as long as farmers understand what their financial risk is going into this and plan accordingly, and don't plant any more acres than you're willing to lose, I guess.
Awesome. Or cash in.
Or cash in.
Dale Cowan, great to have you on the Soybean School.
Thank you, Bernard.